All right, let's get started. We are here. We are live. And I don't know why that TV is lagging. But it's good on the live, right? Now let's do this. And then redo it. There we go. So you're probably like, why are you trying to make me do all this stuff at one time? There we go. Okay. We are. So we're good over there. Okay, excellent. All right. Good morning, ladies. Sorry we were running a little bit behind, but just to put a little information, like what my TikTok got. I'm not even gonna say. I'm gonna say bananaed because they don't like you to say certain words on certain platforms. So it's all good though. We're gonna keep it moving. Life does not stop. Just gonna make another page and keep going. All right. So, electric filing. How many of you ladies have used one? Yes? Yes? How many of you guys feel comfortable using one? Are you confident using it on not just yourself, but also clients?
On myself, yes. On clients, probably not.
Yeah, not on clients. Okay. All right. Well, today I hope that after we do this practice and you guys have a little bit more understanding of what your e-file is capable of and how it should be used properly, you'll feel a little better about using an electric file. And by the way, we are live on Instagram as well, and you guys can follow us for free on YouTube and watch the actual class that I am giving today. Okay, so electric filing. What we're going to talk about today is first of all, I'm going to explain the importance of using an electric file. Why do you guys think you need to learn this? I mean, at the end of the day, we haven't always had electric files. E-files are kind of a new thing. I got what just for purposes of people on the live. There are 4 people sitting in front of me, and not a single one wants to open their mouth. You all make it seem like I'm talking to a room full of empty people. Why would you add e-files to your everyday routine, Eleonora? Tell us in your beautiful Italian accent.
Because it makes more faster the work. Sometimes when you have the modulation for the long nails, use the normal file, you use the electric file, is more faster, so you use it correctly.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, the e-file is going to save you time. And time in this business is
money.
Hey, money, and we like money, don't we? Me and you, we on the same page, girl. Yes. So, electric filing is very important for the nail technician because again, it does save you time and will make you more money. Okay. Now, we're going to describe different types of electric files. Okay. We're also going to compare features. Okay. When you guys go to buy electric files, I hope that you'll purchase mother's file, right? Mother's e-file, just in case y'all didn't know, we do have one and you guys know how I feel about when I make my products or when I start, manufacturing my product, I try to make sure that it has all the features that, we talk about, period, right? So, if you don't want to purchase mine, which is fine, I won't judge you. There are other ones you can purchase, and you're going to want to look for these features. We're also going to talk about bits. Now, the bits is probably the most confusing part of the e-file because anybody can turn it on, anybody can turn it off, right? Anybody can, figure out forward and reverse, but what in the hell are these bits for? When do you use certain ones? Which ones go on the natural nail? Which ones don't? How fast should you get? All of this stuff is going to be explained today, okay? And then I'm also going to demonstrate a little bit of filing techniques. And today we are going to be using the egg. However, the kiwi does sound, you guys have to tell me more about this kiwi thing. What are you filing off the hair?
Yeah. You don't get to the green, you just take the hair off.
but there's brown underneath the hair, so you gotta know you don't go down to the green.
Right. You just take the hair off.
Oh.
And then lift up. I don't know. I like
The egg just seems a little bit more unforgiving. Makes you really, really try because you don't want to. Because just so you guys know, these are raw eggs. Okay, raw eggs. We are live on YouTube. Y'all follow the link in my channel for YouTube if you guys want to see what my students are seeing. We're also going to talk about electric filing for pedicures, which will lead you to that A&T course. For those that are interested in the A&T course, we're also going to talk about some troubleshooting because it had happened to you, didn't it? She was like, she got her the new e-file. She was like, Miss Mary, it's not working. Something's wrong with it. Well, in her case, something was wrong with it. But in a lot of cases, people don't even charge it. And they just be like, oops, it's not working. Well, it doesn't charge. You got to plug it in. You got to charge it a little bit. Sometimes, when you have it in the wrong position, or if it goes into error mode, you think it's broken. There's things that you may want to know about. And then we're going to talk about some safety tips for electric filing, because you can hurt yourself, and not just you, but your client with an e-file. Good morning, Priscilla. How are you, darling? We were somewhat waiting on you. Glad you made it. Okay. Now, we talked about this briefly just a second ago. What's the importance of learning electric filing? Well, number one, it's a very useful tool, and it's something that is going to help us save time. It's going to allow you to shape nails more precisely and more consistently. Okay, so getting around that cuticle area, sometimes it's a little hard, especially when you're a beginner and you're scared you're going to cut up your client's cuticles, right? And when I say cuticles, what am I really saying? The PNF, because the cuticles are what? They're dead. We done already got them off the nail plate, hopefully, right? But there's also ways that you can use an e-file on natural nails. You just have to be very careful and make sure you're listening to everything that I teach you today, okay? Because some of these bits do not belong on the natural nail, okay? Now, it's also going to alleviate stress and pressure on your wrists. Anybody ever heard of carpal tunnel? Okay, Miss Mary got a touch of it on both arms, and I really, really need to have surgery, but we ain't got no insurance. And I ain't got time to be walking around, needing somebody to wipe my tail for me, because I'm doing them both at the same time. We're not going to be out for the count for a whole year for no wrist surgery. All right. So, another way that you guys are going to get more information on how to use an e-file, let me just tell y'all a little story. When I first picked up an e-file, I had no training, none whatsoever. Okay. And my first time that I had a bad experience with that e-file, I put it down. And let me tell you what happened. Y'all want to know what happened? Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you anyway. So what happened was, I was using one of those, monster bits. You know which ones I'm talking about? The ones that look like jaws. I think I have one. The 4 times course bits. Bits that no one should own. Okay, but they sell them, they sell them just like they sell anything else. But I was using this 4 times course bit, and y'all, I have brought out every bit that I own, okay, for you guys today, so that I can show you things that you just really should not have, and things that you know. But I was using a bit that kind of looked like. Let me put it on the screen. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay. By the way, these are dirty bits. These are dirty bits. Dirty bits. They're in this little container. But it was a bit kind of like this. Okay. And a bit like this, you must be very careful, okay? And I'm just an e-file in the girl's nails. Matter of fact, it was even worse than that. And I know I got one in here, because, yes, I do. Here it is. How about that? Oh, wow. Okay? And this is not a safety bit, okay? And we'll talk about safety bits. And I was just e-filing like this right around her cuticle. No, on her acrylic nail. Okay. Right? I had just and I'm filing, and guess what it did? It went whoop all the way around, and it cut her finger wide open. And it was so sharp, y'all. It was so sharp that she didn't even feel it. It was bleeding everywhere, and she didn't even feel it. And I was like, oh my God, you got to go to the emergency room. She was like, oh, sent her to the emergency room, had to pay that emergency room bill. And do you know that girl called me as soon as she left the ER and said, you gonna finish my nails? I was like, ma'am, your hair. Just all of them except that one. I mean, thank God she was a sweet client that I had for a long time. She was very understanding, and she was just like, it's okay, girl. Just, few free sex was in order at that point, right? So anyway, I had no idea how to use an e-file, and luckily Premier Orlando was coming up that very next week, and I was going, and I took every single class that I could take that pertained to electric filing. Every single class. Do you remember how long ago this was? Oh my God, this was when I was in my first salon. This had to be at least 12 years ago. My very first salon, yeah. So, with that being said, you guys, y'all got to be careful because you can really, really hurt somebody. And I just brought that up to point out that particular reason. Okay, I nearly chopped that girl's finger off. Okay, now, you're also going to hold on one second. Going to these classes, let me just tell you, when I went to the class, there was the company was oh my God, they popped out of my head just now. They start with an A. I can't think of it. Anyway, it wasn't Erica's ATA, but they were there too. They had every single bit that they had, they taught us how to use it. So if you get good enough with with an e-file, which I can honestly tell you, I can do it. You can do a set of nails from start to finish, never touching a file if you get good enough with it. Okay, even shaping it and everything. Okay, so just keep that in mind. For those that hate hand filing, I personally love a hand file. It's kind of like I feel like I'm chiseling a piece of art. Now, let's talk about some different types of e-files that are out there. Okay, and I know y'all can't see it because you're not following directions. Go to the YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel. I don't want y'all on Instagram. I want y'all on YouTube. That's where the money's at. All right. So there's several different types of e-files out there, right? And they're made specifically for certain types of nail services, right? So you guys need to, first and foremost, never purchase a file or a drill from Home Depot, Lowe's, Hobby Lobby, what? Ace Hardware. We do not buy nail supplies from any of those places, okay? That is not where we do not buy glue. We do not buy none of that, okay? Drill bits, right? Polish remover. They do sell acetone. I saw they had a big container up here. No, don't do that. I don't care how cheap it is. Dremel drills are not meant for use on nails, okay? You guys, the power, you will never need 90,000 RPMs on someone's finger unless you're trying to dismember them. Okay? Jeffrey Dahmer? Just saying. Now, let's talk about how these things are made, what they're made of, where the parts of them. Let's bust them open. Let's look at the guts. Talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. All right, micro motor machines. So these e-files, I have one. These files, okay, are known as micro motor machines. All right, and the motor, if you look at this and you think, okay, when you look at a car, right, the motor is inside the car in this big. So you would think that the motor's inside here, right? It's not actually. The motor is inside of your handpiece. The handpiece is the most important part of your e-file. Okay, now when we're talking about a portable one like this, all right, one that is portable like this, it's going to be, the handpiece is the most important part and easy to replace. Now the ones that sit on top of a desktop, which I don't even know who would buy that. But I mean, why though? I mean, I guess if you're never going to move, I just feel like this is more convenient. Good morning, Faye. I feel like this is more convenient because you can take it everywhere with you. You can take it to the pedicure chair. You can take it with you. It's mobile. But they do have desktop ones like this. And but just so you know, this part is very easy to replace. So y'all remember, well, back in the day, we said, these transformer boxes right here, when you plug something up, that's what this is. This is this. Okay, this is what's powering the machine. All right, so this is fairly cheap and easy to replace. This, however, can get pricey. They actually sell drill e-files that are just a handpiece now. You can just plug it into something, those are pretty cool too. But just so you guys know, that transformer box is easy to replace, and there are many brands for many budgets. Okay, there's whatever you can afford. I mean, you can go on Amazon right now and buy a little e-file for less than 20 bucks, $10, $19. See, y'all know how I feel about Amazon. I don't buy too much of stuff on there. But, if you need to, you can definitely find one. But just remember to never use craft or hobby tools. They are not meant for the use on nails, ladies. Okay. Now, this word here, revolutions or RPMs, revolutions per minute. What is that? What do we mean by that?
How quickly the pieces going around in a circle, essentially.
How many times does that bit spin in 1 minute? Okay. So it is the measurement of speed or the number of times that bit spins completely in a circle. Okay. Now, those RPMs, when you purchase an e-file, everybody has an e-file in here? Just so you guys know, if you want to, you can, if it's portable, you can start bringing it to class if you just feel like, you don't want to end up, some people get left with the busted one. Like, damn, I was late to class. I got the busted e-file. All right, you can bring your own if you like, just in case, if you want to. Now, just out of curiosity, Morgan, how many RPMs, or what is the RPM speed on yours? The highest it will go?
It's either 30 or 35.
30 or 35? What about yours? 35? You got one? You got an e-file? How fast does it go? Fastest.
I think it's
45, girl. I've never seen one that goes higher than 35K yet. You got one, Priscilla? You don't have one yet? What about you, Karen? You ain't never used it? So the RPMs is the highest, or the revolutions per minute, and when you purchase it, you're going to want to look for one that has a high amount of RPMs. And the reason for that, let's put it in perspective real quick. So you got a little poop little car, like a little, and I don't want to offend nobody. Hold on. An 89 Honda Civic.
Yeah, that's a good car.
It is.
It is a good car.
There's not too many of them left on the
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a Honda Civic, and then you got a Porsche Carrera or something, fast car. No matter what you do, you cannot make that Honda Civic drive as fast as that Porsche. I don't care how hard you push on that gas. You can push that gas as hard as you want to. Anybody ever tried in their little poop? Anybody got a poop car? You ever tried to skirt out in the traffic and you're like, oh hell, I don't think I'm gonna. It's just like, nah, I can't do it. Well, that's what happens when you purchase an e-file that has a low RPMs. And what I mean by that is one that maybe you bought on Amazon for $19 that only goes up to like 15K. Okay? 15K, 15,000, that's probably going to get you the fastest as you can go. You may not even be able to remove acrylic with that. Okay? Now, the faster it is, okay, the more, think about like a Mustang. They say this Mustang has 35 or 50 horsepower. The power of 50 horses behind it, right? Well, that's a pretty powerful car, isn't it? Think about like a big truck that can tow like a camper behind it. You can't put a camper on a Honda Civic. It's not going to be able to pull it, okay? So the higher the RPMs, the more power that particular e-file is going, or how fast it's the speed, okay? How fast it will be able to go. And you can't force it to go no faster than its highest speed. Now, let me ask you this. Your car, when you look at the speedometer, it may go up to 200 miles per hour, doesn't it? It says it will, right? It could. But just because it can, does that mean you're going to, unless you know, a lead foot, or does that mean you're going to push it that fast? And well, let me ask you this. What would happen if you did push it that fast constantly?
You wear down all your belts and
Everything. You're going to blow your motor. Yeah. Basically, you're going to blow the motor. So where do we usually sit at in the somewhere in between, right? So if your e-file is 35K and it at 15K, it is not powerful, it's not going just, doing what it needs to do, then it's probably, not a very good e-file. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe it's not as powerful as they said it was. All right. It's a lemon. Y'all know what a lemon is? Okay. It's a lemon. Everybody with me? So we want to work in that middle range. Now, moving right along. Now, power and torque. The power, well, first let's talk about what the word torque means. Torque. T-O-R-Q. What is torque? Not that. That must be Italian. Does that mean poop in Italian? She's like, no. Okay. So torque is the power of a machine or its ability to keep turning even though you've applied pressure. Okay? So it's like if I'm going 50 miles an hour and then I get to a hill, is my car able to stay at 50 miles an hour even though it's pushing? Depends on the car, doesn't it? Some cars just don't. It's going to slow down because it's like, oh, you want me to go up a hill? Oh, man, I can't go up no hill. That's me. I have very low torque. Okay? We go up a hill, we're slowing down. But some vehicles or some motors, no matter what, they have the power to keep going fast even under pressure. Okay? This again is something that you want to make sure that your e-file is able to handle pressure, because when do we put pressure on a nail when we're e-filing? Think about a service that we do. Taking it off. And if you've ever tried to take off acrylic and your e-file was like, it's stuck. It's like, no, I can't do it. I'm tired. No. That's not a very good e-file. You want your e-file to be able to work under pressure. Now, what do we do? Because just because my e-file at 5K says, that don't mean it's not a good e-file. What that means is I need to I need to push the gas so I can go up that hill, right? Push the gas so we can go up the hill. So what do? We turn the speed up. And as long as once that speed is turned up and it can still turn, then your e-file is good. It's got good torque, good power. Okay. So remember this, and I see y'all writing it down because y'all know we're gonna have a test on it. High torque is equal to more power at a lower speed. So if it's a very powerful machine, you may not have to turn it up to even ever to 15K because it's powerful. So you can turn that speed down. But if it is a less powerful machine, Amazon, $19.99 e-file, it's going to have a lower torque, meaning less power, and you're going to have to turn that speed up all the time, high. And what did we just say happens when you do that? You're going to wear it out, and it's going to break. It's going to, what you need, baby, because we moved a lot of stuff. You need an e-file. They over here. Oh, okay. All right. Now, so does all that make sense? Okay. So, just make sure that you're able to at least put your hands on these e-files sometimes. Y'all always ask me, which one should I buy? And I'm like, the one you can touch, the one you have tried before, because other than that, you're not going to know. You know how many times you bought something off the internet and you was like, damn, I did it on TikTok. That's one thing that's good about my TikTok being banned. I buy so much worthless stuff on TikTok. They ought to be ashamed themselves selling me that rug and it wasn't even the right color. I bought that dang on rug. I tell you what, I laid it out on the floor for Lily to lay on. But it was $35. That's what I get. What you pay for. All right. Now, let's talk about some features that you're going to want to look for outside of just the power and the RPMs. Okay. You will. I'm letting them charge. As soon as we do something, I'm gonna put y'all on so y'all can see. Y'all can see I got my glasses. I got banned because of you, 511. You was doing your nails. I ain't been live ever since. All right. So first of all, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you only buy what you can afford. Okay. Don't if you can only afford the Amazon $19.99 e-file, buy that. Okay. Where my little black one? Where the little black one was charging? Is it in there? The little, the little handheld one. What I do? Yeah. If it's all you can afford, honey. This is $19.99, I believe. Mine's $169, but you guys get a discount, 20%. Okay. If this all you can afford, listen. I know famous nail techs that use these. Yeah, she done upgraded. But I remember seeing her on TikTok. I know damn well you ain't got that little poo poo. But if this is all you can afford, then please buy it. Okay, don't buy nothing you can't afford. However, this versus this, we're going to talk about it in a second. Now, you're also going to want to have an e-file that has forward and reverse. Do you want to drive a car that only drives forward? You're going to have to get somebody to push you out of the damn parking space. Okay? So, you want to have forward and reverse. And why do you think you want forward and reverse, Kara?
Because you have a left and right, so they call for the nails.
Thank you, Kara.
Sometimes you know use your left, but the people have use right.
Mm-hmm. So, she said for people who are left-handed and right-handed, right? What's another reason, Kara? What are you left-handed and right-handed? Let's put down the white flag, lady. What's another reason why you, who is one-handed, I want to be both-handed. But y'all know what I'm talking about? That lady who she was like, I wish I was both-handed. Oh, anyway. So why would you need it as a person who's, are you right-handed? Left-handed people. Just kidding. I know we got a couple of left-handed people. My sister was left-handed. We used to blame it anytime she did something stupid. We were like, it's because you're left-handed. Anyway, so just a joke. I don't want to get banned. Okay. Why do you think you would need it in your case? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Tell me. What's the other reason why you need forward and reverse?
Because in the U nails, you have a left to right lipstick, and with the left you put the take off in one part and turn around another.
Mm-hmm. So, if you are right-handed, you need to also do your own nails, right? Mm-hmm. So you gotta turn around and do it in reverse. Okay? You're gonna have to reverse it now. It's not necessarily something you have to do, but it's gonna be very weird and awkward feeling doing your nails in the same direction as the other hand. You're gonna have to do everything in reverse, and it can be done, but it's not pleasant. Okay, to do it, it's your brain kind of works in the opposite direction. It mirrors itself. So if you had to do it, in forward and on with your opposite hand, it would just feel weird. Yeah. Okay. So that's two reasons why you want forward and reverse. All right. Now you're also gonna want to look for e-files that. Okay, here's a perfect example. Let me put this on the screen because this is something you're going to need to see. All right. This area right here is known as the chuck. Okay, here and here. Here and here. Okay, these both, but you notice these are different. This one, which is the better option, which you're just going to turn here, all right, to unlock and open up this chuck area here. You see how this opens up like a flower? Okay, so when we twist it this way, it locks it. It closes down onto the bit. And that will keep the bit from, when you turn it on, flying off into somebody's face. Okay? Now this one, which is the $19.99 option, all right? This one, it has a chuck as well. The only bad thing about this chuck is you've got to hold this button and twist this in order to get it open. And the chuck is actually, if I open this all the way, take it off, you'll see that it's on the inside. You see? But that's just the mechanism that this one has. But in order to get this one in, I've got to open it up, put it in there, hold this button so that it basically is keeping it from twisting on the inside. So, and you got to manually tighten it. Well, what if you don't put it on tight enough? It will wobble, or it might even come out and swing out into the room and hit somebody in the face. Okay, so this one, okay, it works, but obviously this is a better option. Now this one has a safety mechanism in it. So if I'm just going to grab another bit, so I have to keep taking them out. Okay, this one has a safety mechanism in it that when I twist it to lock it, so when I turn it on, it will turn on because it's locked. Sorry. You got to be careful not to shove it all the way in. It will turn on because it's locked. Now, if I unlock it, back up. If I unlock it, and you can see there's a little lock. There's a little lock. It says lock or unlock. You unlock it and try to turn it on. It will not spin. So that's a safety mechanism that you're going to want to have in your e-file. You know, just to like, oh, you're not locked. But you also need to know that it's not locked, because I've had people call me and say, it's not working. And I'm like, is it locked? Did you push it? And then if you push this in all the way, just shove it in and then lock it, it sometimes it won't turn if you shove it in all the way and lock it. So it just depends. You want to just make sure that it's just a hair out, and then you can turn it on and it will spin. Make sense? Okay. So there are also e-files out there that have a foot pedal. Okay? And I love a foot pedal. And they're always going to be the kind that's our desktop, because it's going to be a cord. I have not seen any wireless foot pedals yet. Someone will come out with it. But the ones with the foot pedal are really nice because it's almost like driving a car. You can start slow and then push faster, and you don't have to always stop and twist and adjust your speed. Okay? Now, they also have cheaper ones that have a foot pedal where it's just on, off, on, off, on, off. And it's not accelerating like you're driving a car. Okay, so when you buy one, it says, oh, it's got a foot pedal. Just make sure you know that whether or not the foot pedal is the on, off, or the accelerating, going from slow to fast, just like you're driving a car. Okay. Now, you're also, we talked about the RPMs, variable speed control. So what do I mean by that? Well, this e-file right here, baby, all you got is on, off, no slow, high speed, slow. It's just on, off. So if I want to be really careful and gentle around the cuticle area, am I able to do that with one that just goes? I don't even know how many RPMs this goes, but I would assume it's going pretty fast I wouldn't put it nowhere near my natural nails or anything like that, because you can't slow it down. Okay. Nor can you speed it up. So it's not the best option out there. Now, a comfortable handpiece, and I was just talking to Tanika about this. I know this one right here. So, I got a couple of, we talked about Old Faithful last week, didn't we? For those that was here. Yeah, we got some Old Faithfuls, okay. Well, this is my Old Faithful e-file. I love this e-file. And I wish that, well, I don't wish I didn't have my own, but I wish I still, had the desire to use it. as much as I used to. And the reason I love this e-file, let me tell you why. Okay, it's not the e-file itself; it's the handpiece. Okay, so can y'all see the difference in these hand pieces? Mm-hmm. Well, one is slim, and one's thick like me. Kind of bad body shape, got a big back and everything. Okay, I don't like that. I prefer if I could take this handpiece. This one is like holding a pen. Okay, and you will feel when you hold it that this one is heavy. Oh yeah.
Will it plug into your machine?
No. See the plug on this one? Oh, the weight is nice. See the. Oh, just FYI, in case y'all wanted to know, this is the exact same E-File Valentino sells. They just put their label on it. Okay, and it has diamonds in the handle. Did y'all notice that? No one cares about that. All right, so this and this part right here, like I said, it's more like a pen, holding it like a pen, which is how you're going to hold your e-file. So this is my absolute e-file. The only problem with her is that she died a long time ago, and the only way to make her work is to keep her plugged in. And so she's turned into a desktop. You know, she's an old hoe. All right. You gotta keep her out, put her on the desk and keep an eye on her. Okay. That's the only way she works. However, you know, this is just fine. It's just a little bit bigger, a little thicker. Big bag. Okay. Now, moving right along. You'll also want to, if you're going to purchase an e-file that is over $150, we're talking e-files can run anywhere from $19.99 to $600. I want to say Cooper has one for $549 right now. I mean, and the only feature that's different from my e-file and that e-file is you can change the color of the clothes. It has different clothes. You can make it green one day. You can make it yellow one day. I mean, whatever your flavor is, you know, you call your client and say, girl, what you wearing today? I'm going to match my e-file to your outfit. Is that worth it to you? But I will say this. Their e-files have like a 2-year warranty, but I can tell you this too. Everybody I know that's ever bought one has used that warranty several times, and because, you know, just because it costs a lot don't mean that it's great. Don't mean that it's, you know, going to work forever. Okay. Me personally, when people call me and they say something like, my e-file stopped working, I'm like, girl, send me that thing back. I'll see you know. Okay. All right. But, you know, I'm one of those people, you think I bought a warranty on this? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Anything that costs more than $150, if I got to buy it again, I'm buying a warranty because of this right here. I paid $50 for the warranty. If I break these $400 glasses, they're going to give me another pair. Okay? Yes, do that. Okay? I do have a new one. Y'all go follow the new TikTok. Follow the new TikTok so I can go live. I don't really deal with Instagram. They don't like me. We got 6 people in here. That's not normal. We don't do 6 people. I don't like that. All right? 6 people. What's wrong with y'all? Uh-huh. Now, bits. How do we choose the proper bit for each service? We are also live on YouTube, and you can see what we see right now on YouTube. Okay? How do we choose bits? Okay? And now, you guys know when you first get your e-file, it's even when you buy mine, because they give you these little free bits, and then, like, you know, some little, yeah, they just send you a bunch of little, like, you know, I don't even know. They don't even do anything. They might look like this, you know, something that's like, they're like little diamond bits or whatever. They send you like a bunch of different ones. They really won't do much of nothing because I don't even think they have any grit to them. You ever tried to use them? That's why I said might use it to scratching between my toes or something with it. I don't know because I don't think they work. All right, but just know that e-files, the bits come in several different shapes, sizes, styles, and you knowing how to use them is going to ensure that you use them safely. It's also going to save you time and money knowing how to use them because Lord knows I have seen It's so fun. It never fails when I teach this class. I'll walk around and I'll see a student and they'll be using a drill bit that is we'll just say very fine, trying to shape acrylic nails, and you just are going to be there forever. It's like using a a toothpick to chisel through concrete. what you gonna do? You can't get. It's not gonna work. Okay, but it's also important that we have bits that are not wobbly or bent. And I'm trying to find. I have so many bits that I want to show you guys that are totally inappropriate for use. Okay, how do you get a wobbly or bent bit? Anybody know? Baby, if you drop that handpiece, and I have kept this bit for years. You laughing because you've done it before, haven't you?
I broke it.
You broke it?
Damn.
Damn.
The bit. I like the bit.
Damn.
But it was a ceramic bit. So
Oh, ceramic is easy. Yes, ceramic is easy. So let me show you a wobbly bit. Wobbly, 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 wobbly. Okay. I know. Sorry. There's a wobbly bit. Okay. And when I turn it on, you'll only know it's wobbly when you turn it on. Oh, look at that.
She's just shaking too.
She twerked. And she twerked. And she twerked. She twerked. Yes, that's a wobbly bit, baby. Wobbly. Okay, so with that being said, why is this not okay to use on a client? Somebody would try to keep that and use it, or maybe they didn't even realize it was wobbly. Can you use this on someone? Because every time I get ready to put it on my client, it's going to be like it's spanking the client. Plop, 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 plop. Because it's uneven. So you cannot use a wobbly bit. All right. So make sure that your bits are in proper condition for use. Okay. Now, moving right along. We also, well, let's talk about the anatomy. So when choosing your bits, you want to make sure that they are what's known as concentric bits. And what does concentric mean? It means exactly what I just showed you. You do not want your bits to be wobbly or bent, and so that means that they'll be balanced. Okay, if they're concentric, they just will spin in a perfect circle. Okay, now bits that wobble or vibrate can damage the inside of your handpiece as well as damage the client's nail. Who is calling me? I know it's these same people telling me my Google account is not active. I don't care. I got a room full of students. Who cares? They keep calling the same people. I wish I could block them and they just call from a different number. Your Google listing is no longer active. Good. And people can't write fake reviews on there. Can you believe people do that?
Right.
Fake reviews. Well, I didn't go to her school, but why are you making a review on my school then?
I know you want to be like, well, I was watching her on TikTok.
Well, I was watching on TikTok and she said something about, I didn't like that. Okay. We also want the surface of our bits to be smooth. And oh my God, y'all, when I tell y'all, this is ridiculous. This is not ridiculous. I have this many bits. Okay. I got a bit, y'all, and I usually keep it, here it is, a little yellow tab on it so I can show you. What do I mean by surface smoothness?
All the edges are like the same.
Right, because you think of a bit, you're like, it's not smooth. You don't want it to be smooth because smooth would mean it wouldn't be grinding anything, right? What I mean by that is this, okay? Look carefully. So if I zoom in on this bit, let me get close. There we go, right there. Right there. Can you see that the teeth are looking a little hillbilly elegy type, missing a few, some are kind of sticking out. Let me see if I can turn. They're not all even. I even got a better one. I think I pulled it out earlier. Yeah. How about this one? Can you see that it's wider at the bottom, and these are worn down in the middle, and then the top, because these bits have been abused. And how did I do that? Well, removing stones, removing charms, metal pieces off of the nail, over time, they will start to destroy your drill bits. Okay, so always have a drill bit that you use specifically for those purposes, and this is one of them. Okay, I use it specifically because you will destroy your drill bits. Okay, and you don't want to use these bits on to smooth out a nail because they're not smooth, right? If they're not smooth, the nail won't be smooth. So does that make sense? Surface smoothness. Okay, so now also the edges of your bits. Many bits are cut with finished edges so that they're not sharp on the top. And when you're looking at our slide here, it's that rounded top there. Okay, this is a preference. And when it comes to me, my preference is not to use bits with sharp edges. And that's exactly this. That's exactly what I'm holding here. This one has sharp edges, very sharp. And that is how I cut that client's finger wide open. Okay? And you don't want that. These are known as safety bits. Okay? In this school, that is all you will use if you ever use a bit on anybody in here. Because I will not have anybody being rushed to the ER from using the wrong kind of bit. There's no need for you to use these sharp bits anymore. They make almost all bits are safety bits. Okay. Here's another example of safety bits. Okay. Here's the tops are smooth. All right. But then they also have safety bits where the top is not smooth, completely smooth, but it still won't cut you. For instance, this one. Okay, you see how the top, it goes all the way clean to the top, all right? So these are a lot easier to get into that cuticle area so that you will not cut the client. You can see all the bits by joining my YouTube channel. My channel, we are live on YouTube. Okay, but there you go. Y'all need to go to the YouTube channel. Now, what about grit? How do we know? How do we know what the grit is on a bit? Or what is the grit on a bit? We know what it is on a file, right? So what is it on a bit? How do we know? Well, some bits will have little indicators like a little blue line, or it might have a red line, or it might have they all have different indicators. It just depends on the manufacturer. Not me not having a single bit with that on it. I know I do. Okay, here's one. For instance, this one is a pedicuring bit. This is my pedicuring bit. And has a blue line on it. And what that means is that it's coarse. Okay? Every manufacturer is different. Some people will say red is coarse. Some people say green is coarse. It just depends. The manufacturer I buy from, they say green is fine. Red is medium. Blue is coarse. Just depends on the manufacturer. Okay? Let's see if I got another one. And I don't.
Ones you had were the coarse one.
I got a ton of bits. I just want to be sure I brought every last bit I got. Oh, here we go. I forgot I had another box. Here we go. So these little indicators here, I love having these. They come off, right? Sometimes they sell them to you like this. Okay, a lot of my bits come with this on it. These are my ceramic bits that I sell. Okay, and this is a coarse bit. It's coarse. All right, but these also are good for keeping the dust out of your handpiece. So when I put this in here, this right here keeps dust from getting down in here. And when dust gets down in here, it can cause overheating. It can also make your handpiece not spin. Okay, so these are some, you can buy these separately too from most bits, people who sell e-files and bits. Okay, here is a red one. All right, and that's going to be medium, I guess, in this case, because if you can see, this one is red and this one is blue. This one is much finer than this one. Okay, so just me personally, I can look at them and tell if they're coarse or fine or medium. All right, can definitely look at them and tell. All right, now the shank. This is very important. The shank, not your prison shank. All right, but on a drill bit, there are several different lengths of shank. Okay, now please, y'all, I know y'all want this bit so bad. I don't sell it anymore. This is my polish mixing bit. Look how long that shank is. That's this piece right here. Okay, this piece right here. And it's the length of that shank is different on different types of drill bits. But the reason this one is long is so it can go inside of a polish bottle and you can turn it on and it can get down to the bottom. All right. This one is long. Also, it's just a pedicuring bit. But the length of the shank, I don't really care about so much. What I do care about is the size of the shank, meaning how thick is this? Because if you go on the internet, okay, and try to buy drill bits that are not the right size. For instance, they have drill bits that are 1/4 of a millimeter. All right, and you need to know that that's not going to fit in your standard nail electric file. Now, will it fit in this? Anything will fit in this because you can untwist it and make it as wide as you want to. That lets you know that this is not meant for use on nails. Okay, they can write whatever they want on here. It says cordless nail tool, pin drill. But you know what else? They have this same exact one for sale on Amazon that says engraving tool. They just changed. This is a sticker, y'all. This is a sticker. You can buy those anywhere. Have them made. Okay, so what size should you be buying? Well, the answer is 3/32 millimeters. The standard nail machine e-file bit is 3/32 of an inch. Okay, basically, for the size. Okay, so when you're buying them, make sure 3/32. Don't buy anything else because it's not going to fit. It's gonna be too big. All right, and that's when you know you're using drill bits that go in a Dremel Dremel drill. Pretty certain it was on the state board. It's definitely going to be there. Questions like that will be on your state board test. Okay, so you need to know these. I'm so glad to see so many more people taking notes because this stuff is necessary. It will be there. Tanika recently got her it's been a year almost. It hit a year. In a year, wow. Time flies when you're having fun. So, everybody with me? She's now what? She's going to be, now it's been a year, so now she's going to do the instruction. Her and Shayla both. Well, I don't know what Shayla, did Shayla tell me she wasn't coming today last week? I can't remember.
I didn't hear it.
I can't remember. She just a no-show today?
Did she start a new job?
That's right. She did. She got a new job. We're testing it. Oh, okay. We are testing it. Testing her new job. She got a new job. She got a new job working in a nail salon. We should go visit her right there. Anyway, all right. No. It's on Walton Way. All right. So the types of drill bits out there. First type we're going to talk about is diamond bits. Okay. Diamond bits, they're smoother looking, right? Rather than the ones that look like they have teeth on them. Not as scary looking. Okay. Diamond bits can come in natural and synthetic diamond particles. Ooh, natural and so like real diamond. They make grown diamonds. Oh, okay, so they're not like valuable diamonds.
I mean, they're not.
Like if I buy me a diamond drill with the real diamonds on it, I'm not using that. Nobody but me. Okay. Now here's one of the features, you guys. Diamond bits can be used in either direction. left or right, or excuse me, not left or right, forward or reverse, okay? Because there's no particular spin on it like there is on the carbide bits, and we'll get to the carbides in a second. So they can be used in either forward and reverse, and the most commonly used grit is going to be your medium grit, because they are what I like to call like for natural nails. All right, when you use them, I like to use it on that. I don't like to use my diamond bits on anything other than natural nails, because they'll get ground down. If you put it on acrylic, they're going to get really, really dull quick, right? So I like to use them on natural nails or for finishing purposes with gel. And why do I say gel? Because gel is, what did we talk about last week? Gel is it
Softer.
it's softer, it's more flexible, but it's softer than acrylic, right? You can easily file through gel with a carbide bit or a sanding band and take away everything you just laid down, okay? So I like my diamond bits for that purpose, okay? And they are much cheaper to buy, okay? They also come in many shapes and sizes, as you can see, okay? Now, the second type of bit is going to be your carbide bits, and that's what when we talk about carbide is an actual metal, okay? It is a metal. These also come in different shapes and sizes and grits.
This is for acrylic.
Absolutely. You can use them with gel, but I think it would probably cut too much, okay? So the surface of this bit has grooves in it, and those grooves are called flutes, okay? And the flutes reduce the dust. The flutes reduce the dust, and because it's basically carving out bigger chunks of acrylic versus finer particles than the diamond bits. Okay, now these flutes shave off the surface of that product as they file. And the wider the space between the flutes, the more coarse it is. I showed y'all that monster bit that nearly took my client's finger off, right? Well, they make them even, finer. And so the smaller the spaces in between those flutes, the finer the bit is. Let me show you an example really quickly, the difference between the two, because I have some that are really, really fine, and I have some that are really, really coarse. So between these three here, you can see that this one on the left is that more coarse or more fine?
More
Left. Definitely. It's got them huge teeth. Then we get more medium, and then we get finer. Okay. Now, what I want you to notice about the difference between these three. Which one of these can only be used in one direction?
The one on the left.
And how do you know that?
Because they don't have the cross.
They're not crossing each other. Okay. Can you see that? This one literally only swirls in one direction. So that means that this is only meant for going in forward direction, and that means only right-handed people can use it unless you are using it in forward with your left hand. You cannot twist it. It won't cut anything if you go the other direction. It'll just be skirting across that acrylic and not doing anything. Whereas these have cross cuts on both directions, so they can be used in forward and reverse. Okay. Now, Swiss carbide bits, obviously, they call them that because they're made in Switzerland, but that's another name for safety bits, okay? Meaning the ones with the round top, all right? You'll hear them called Swiss carbide bits, but they're just safety bits, okay? They're just safety bits. Now, something that I want you guys to write down, and don't you ever forget it. Metal bits, carbide, any ceramic or even ceramic bits do not belong on the natural nail. Do not use these on a person's natural nail. Why? Why, ladies? One of you are going to tell me. It's too coarse. But why is it too coarse? Why do you not want this on someone's natural nail? Why would you not want this jaws on the natural nail? You're gonna dig a ditch, okay? Even if it is a fine, it's gonna remove the nail plate. Remember, it's like carving out chunks, okay? We never need to do that to our natural nail, do we? What do I always say about the natural nail? We want to just lightly buff it just to remove the shine, okay? So, can we use, what did I say earlier about what I like to use on the natural nail? Which one? Diamond bits, okay? Because you can get those very fine and they will just barely scratch the surface of the nail, okay? And never use anything higher than a medium grit on a natural nail, even with diamond bits, okay? So carbide, X, do not do it. Never. Only on enhancement products, meaning gel or acrylic, okay? Everybody with me? Can move forwards. All right. Now, silicone bits, which I do not own a single one of these because you can't reuse them on people because they are porous, like these plastic bits, chamois bits, these natural bits, okay? They're another, okay, so let me show, I do have some of these natural ones and these chamois ones. And let me just, full disclosure, this is black because I use it to polish my jewelry with, just so y'all know. I don't use it on nails. Sorry, it is very black. Because I bought it at the show. This guy was selling this like jewelry. Imagine it at the show. But I was like, oh, that'd be perfect for when I do my Swarovskis. It's this buffing cream that you clean your jewelry with, or silver or anything. And so I clean my rings with this and that buffing cream. But here's an example of some natural. These should not be used ever on anyone other than yourself. And let's just be clear here. These right here came with one of those Family Dollar drill bit kits or drill kits that you can buy at Family Dollar. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, where the little kid at? This a little box they sell it in. This little box. Isn't this cute?
We went to the dollar store the other night and I saw one.
They got nail stuff in there, y'all.
I saw one for the first time. I was like, oh, this is where you can get it.
You got nails on me, huh? Open it. I can't get it open. But they'll say, they'll sell you here this little kit right here, and this y'all know what this is? Cotton. It's like cotton. How are you gonna reuse it? And what are you using it for? To remove polish? I guess to remove polish. Soak it in acetone and then turn on the e-file and remove the polish with it. Smear the polish everywhere in your face, is splattering everywhere. So anyway, that is these are not reusable, y'all. You cannot reuse these. You cannot. And why can't we reuse this one? This one is made out of pumice stone. It's porous. You can't clean it. You can't sanitize it. You can't disinfect it. Okay. Only now you can use it on yourself and your husband and your kids' feet on you with your little Dollar Tree, e-file. But at the professionals, no, honey. Okay, honey, no. All right. So those are your natural bits, and you use and let me just be honest. These are amazing for men's manicures with the buffing cream. Okay. They sell a buffing cream, and you can buy it in any Sally's or whatever, and it's kind of pink, and you put it on natural nails that have not been etched or anything. Okay, like men who just want shiny nails with no polish or something, or women or whatever. You put that buffing cream on here, and you turn it on at a high speed. It's got to be at a high. It's just like when you go This is the same thing they use on cars. Okay, let me put this on the screen so y'all can see. You put this on a nail and you go to buff it. Look how shiny it's gonna make my nails. It done buffed it. Oh, shiny. But you look what you can't clean it though. So, but I will say that these are very cheap. You can buy them for like $1 a piece. So, buy 30, 40 of them, keep them in the drawer for when you're doing men's manicures, and then throw it away or give it to them. I don't know. Tell them to bring it back with them next time. I don't know. They're cheap.
And the cream, where are you shopping?
I bought the buffing cream from Sally's. That's Sally's Beauty Supply. That's the only place I've ever seen it, and it's because nobody really uses it in the nail industry.
They don't sell the bits to go with it,
Yeah, but you know who does sell the bits to go with it? Me. Okay. I have a bunch. I got a million of them. I bought a bunch of them, and then you can also get the. I think Mr. Johnny sells them too. You ain't never been there? Oh, that's right. You live in Atlanta. I always forget. On Saturdays, and they're closed on Saturdays. Okay, I forgot. All right, moving to the next types of bits. Now you got your tapered bits. These are. I like to use these in the cuticle area because they are a little bit tapered, and you can get in there real good. They're also great for going if you've got a really, really tight C curve and you want to go underneath the nail. And so here's an example of a tapered bit, just to switch over real quick. This is an extra long one. Everyone always asks me, where you get this extra long bit from? I bought it in Atlanta. They got them in the nail supply. But this, if you're doing like a square nail and you want to get under, or you got a coffin shaped nail and you're trying to clean out from under it and it's got a really tight free edge, you can get under there real good and clean out from under there. Okay. Now, and again, they're great for cuticle prepping. Now you see this flying saucer looking shape thing. So back in the day, when we would do pink and whites, French fills, you would have to, after a certain time, you would have to fill in not just the back of the nail by the cuticle, but you would also have to fill in the white because the white would have grown way out. And now it doesn't look like a French nail anymore. It's more like all pink. And so we would have to carve a U shape or horse shape or French shape with the very edge of that flying saucer, okay, to cut that shape into there. Me personally, I don't like doing that much work. If it's grown out that much, we're gonna soak that thing off and start fresh, honey. I'm not doing a new French line just because you want to keep the same nails on for 6 months. That's too much. Too much. Again, while my students are taking these notes, you can follow us on YouTube and our new TikTok account. Please do so that we can go back live because Instagram ain't it. Y'all lame over here. 3 of y'all in here. I ain't never in my life. And one of them is you. They coming in and coming out. I don't understand the folks on Instagram. I guess TikTok is just better.
How many are in YouTube?
Oh, we got more people in YouTube than we got 18 people, 23 watching right now, it says. Thank you guys so much for watching. And most of you guys are my TikTok people, and I appreciate y'all. Please go to TikTok and follow the new account so we can go back live again. Y'all ready for me to move along? Okay, now, these are the fun ones. So, your natural nail discs. A lot of people have never even seen these before. Yeah, well, the one in the middle right here is for pedicure, but this one up here, have you ever seen this bit before?
It's not the put inside and for the callus.
This one?
Yeah, or for the.
It's for the nail, actually. It's to shorten the natural nail. So that one always kind of confuses people because they're like, "Oh, that looks weird. What do you do with that?" So let me show you. Okay, what you do with it. This is a natural nail disc, and it kind of makes a little bit of noise. It's a little noisy, okay? So can y'all see it? All right. Yeah. So this right here, the outside piece, it's spinning right now, but I can take it and stop it. It's not spinning. Now the only thing that's spinning is the inside part, the diamond bit part, this little plate, okay? So how this works, real quick, it'll be better if I just show them on a natural nail real quick. I'm not gonna file it, but my nail is way too long. So, a little closer, right there. So how this works is, if the nail is really, really short, like a toenail, she's got a long natural nail here. They're very pretty. You've grown them out.
Thank you, I am.
So what you do here, if it's really short, you can get up against the skin. See how I'm laying on her skin? It makes noise. But then I can push up against her natural nail and cut. You saw that? So this, if she's got a really short toenail, I can lay this right on her skin, because sometimes you can't even get a file up underneath a toenail. It's so short, right? And that's how. And then this will go around and around. I don't want to cut your natural pretty nail. Sorry, I thought you. So it can go up against right here, lay up against a really really short toenail, and then you can push up against it and cut like so. You see that? It makes a lot of noise, which I mean, I personally just like a metal file. Those skinny metal files work so much better. But if you're working with an e-file consistently and you don't want, it's so much faster, this is the route to go. And where do you buy these? Now, find it on Amazon. That's where I found mine, because I never found one anywhere else. Okay, natural nail disc. Okay, now pedicuring bits. Okay, pedicuring bits are awesome. Okay, but you need to know how to use them. So for those that hate the on callus, all right, and for ANTs, because when you are an ANT, you are going to be doing mostly, and I say mostly like 99% of the time, dry pedicures. Okay, no water involved. You're just going to use moist towels or wet towels, warm wet towels to do your pedicures. You're not going to be dangling little 90-year-old people's feet in these. You're not going to get them in these chairs. Okay, and that's usually going to be your client base, elderly people or more people with chronic illnesses. So how does this work? Well, you got to have a dry foot. First of all, a dry foot, and it has to be going at a high rate of speed. Okay, so when we did our pedicure demonstration, I showed y'all I like to do a dry pedicure before we do anything to get rid of most of the callus.
Me?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I said when. You always want a free service, boy, I tell you. It's always the ones that like money the most that don't want to pay for nothing. I tell you. But you want to turn this on at a high speed. Now, let me ask you this. Why does this pedicure bit have holes in it? Absolutely, to disperse the heat. Okay? To disperse the heat. So, because we have to go at a very high rate of speed, it's going to give you a whole lot of heat. So that's why pedicure bits have holes in them. Okay? And here's another example of one. Here's a pedicure bit. Okay? It's just another style. All right? So if you're doing pedicures, it really, really helps, especially with people who got callus in between their toes and they like you guys ain't never did no real feet. Y'all used to doing your own and your people. Wait till you get somebody see people they walk in. The ones that need pedicures are the ones that want pedicures. They don't come that don't have bad feet. They don't come in that often. It's the ones that got them bad feet. They show up in the nail salon and you're like, when's the last time you had a pedicure? They're like 2 weeks ago. Girl. You wait. You are not going to want to have to file in between those toes. I can tell you that. Pedicure bits are great. All right. Now, let's talk about these sanding bands. They're considered prepping bits, right? Here's the thing. And this is my personal opinion. You guys can do what you want to do. But there is absolutely no reason whatsoever for you to ever put a sanding band on someone's natural nail. Period. Fine, medium, extra fine, coarse, nothing. Never, ever, don't do it. It's not necessary. You are shredding the natural nail plate. And I know that you're used to it, but I told you guys when you came in here, y'all needed the Men in Black it. Shoot. Forget everything that you've had done in the nail salon, that you've seen done in the nail salon. They are doing it wrong. Some of y'all that's been doing nails forever are doing it wrong. And this is why your clients have what's called rings of fire. And you've all had one before. Yeah, we all think it's normal. Y'all think it's normal to use sanding bands on people's natural nail plate because the Asians do it. Sorry, I said what I said. It's not necessary. At the end of the day, all you need to do to prep that nail plate is what? Buff it. Remove the shine. Remove the oils. Wash the client's hand. Dehydrate, prime, period. That's it. Natural nail needs to be left alone. Okay? Just listen to me. All right? Now, we do have these things called sanding bands. And what are they for? Well, you can use them completely throughout the entire service if you want to outside of prepping. Okay? You can use them to shape, file, do all that stuff. It's just they're just a little bit they're not as precise in when you get around the cuticle area. And if you've ever had somebody rake a sanding band up against your cuticle, your proximal nail fold, then you start bleeding, and then they bring out that green stuff, which someone asked me the other day, like, oh, I thought that was normal too. I was like, it's never normal to bleed in the nail salon. You should not be bleeding in the nail salon. If someone is making you bleed, then they are not trained and they should not be using that e-file. Okay? So sanding bands are great for removal. Okay? They're great for getting ready to do a soak off, trying to take down length. They're great for that. Okay? But not for prepping on the natural nail, you guys. Now, what is that little metal piece called? A mandrel. Okay? And mandrels come in several different types because, of course, we got to have one for every flavor. All right? Let me just show you a few different ones. Okay? This is the one that you will see most often. Okay? Yes, the same one. This is the one you will see most often. Okay? These come with every e-file you buy. Every single they come free, right? And these are okay. Only problem with them is sometimes the sanding band doesn't fit. It might be a little too tight or it might be a little too loose. It's just it's a one size fit all, and not all sanding bands will fit it. Now this one is my favorite one because it's got this. This is it's kind of like elastic in your pants. When you wear leggings a lot. See, I had to start. Y'all notice I've been wearing a lot of jeans lately because why? Because I was wearing leggings, and then all of a sudden I couldn't fit my damn jeans no more because I was like, wait a minute, but my leggings fit good. Oh, that's right, because they stretch. So I was like, nah, bitch, you gotta get back into a size 8, a size 13. Whew. These ain't got these got a little give. They Abercrombie and Fitch. I mean American Eagle. That's what I meant. They give you a little stretch. But anyway, that's what that is for. Because when you put the sanding band on, this is expanding to make it so that it fits. Okay. Now, this one is a silicone mandrel. Silicone. And what I like about this one is when you have a sanding band that fits on it, see how this is squishy? So if I need to put pressure around the cuticle area, it won't dig a ditch. It will give a little bit. It's a little squishy. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hold on, here goes the little pack that they sell you with every single drill bit. Notice the mandrel's the only one that's out of there. But when you put this on, let me see here. If you put this on I'm gonna just use this one in here. Maybe it'll fit. I got one more mandrel to show you guys. So now they're making these really, really, really. These are garbage sanding bands. Yeah. I mean, the bits are garbage. The bits are garbage, but the sanding bands are even worse. So when you put this on, if you can get it on, when you put it on, you'll notice that this part right here, it's just squishier. So if I go around and I go around the sanding band, it'll go around the cuticle, it'll bend. I can't get it all the way on now for some reason. It's not. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. It's easier to put on when you have it in the drill bit. Okay. So now when I go around and I put pressure on the nail, it gives. You see? So it's not gonna. Whereas a metal one like this, it's gonna wherever I push, however hard I push, I'm gonna dig a ditch. This one's gonna give me a little squishy padding. Okay. Now what I really love right now is these new teensy wincy ones. Look at that.
So cute. Purple one.
You have a purple one? Well, I don't have a purple one, but I have this one.
And it comes with purple man.
Whoa! You must have bought yours from Wildflowers. Purple. They have purple. But these are a lot smaller, and so look at the size difference. So you just have a little bit more, the smaller the bit, the more precision, okay? So this is just a smaller bit, and it's 100% pick your poison, okay? Pick your bits and your E5s. Pick everything like you pick your man. Choose what you like, the one that does you the best. All right? So, mandrels. Y'all see that? They come in all different shapes and sizes. There are silicone mandrel bits I need. Yes, there are. There are, and I have one. Now, the one thing about it is the silicone one, you can't put it in the sterilizer, but you can drop it in some disinfectant, clean it. Okay? Now, this is a big one, and everybody gets mad at me, and I don't care. These bits, okay, how you've seen them before. What do they use them on? The cuticle. And where does the cuticle reside, y'all? On the nail plate, right? So let's talk about it real quick, because these are used most often in what are those things called? Russian manicures. Y'all. Russian manicures, okay? Now, first of all, before we talk about Russian manicures, let's talk about what these bits are meant for, okay? They are meant for poking holes in nails, y'all. Holes. These are meant for poking holes for jewelry. So back in the day, or now it's come back again, people are putting rings and putting little chains and stuff in nails. That's what these are for. These are not, I repeat, they are not meant for removing cuticle off the nail plate. Make it make sense, y'all. Okay? The reason why we have drill bits that are flat, that have a flatter shape to them, is so we don't dig a hole in the nail. Okay? If something is round and you continuously rub it in one spot, because there's only one place that this is making contact with my nail. The whole circle isn't making contact, just a very small portion of it. So what is it doing? It is quite literally digging a ditch into my nail plate. There's no way for this to be smooth and flat. Okay, it's round. So the other way that people use this incorrectly is they will take it and rub it on the skin and force that keratin. Y'all remember the keratinized PNF? Mm-hmm. It's that little dry piece of skin, and they'll just exfoliate it off of the cuticle area until it just keep rubbing and keep rubbing and keep rubbing until it comes off. And if you have ever had this done to you, my God, I don't know how anybody sits there and allows it. I tried it on myself. I was like, oh, let me try this. And I look at nail techs sometimes like, have you ever considered how that feels to your client? When they're chopping that skin, have you ever considered how that feels to your client? Because even if I even think about it, my cuticles start to bleed. My PNF starts to bleed if I think about it. And then I see people just sitting, I know in their head they're screaming. They're like, oh, God, Jesus, cut me. It hurts. And then, because the other day, I was doing my friend's nail at my house. She had, pulled a hangnail, and I knew it hurt. I was steady putting alcohol and acetone, wiping her nails down, and she just was sitting there like a chief. And I was like, I can hear I told her, that's probably why I'm banned or whatever. We was talking shit. I was like, I can hear you screaming inside, because that thing was like, she had ripped the skin it was a bad hangnail to where it came all the way back here. I shouldn't have did her nails, but it was her birthday, so I did them. And she ain't gonna sue me. So, no, we're not on TikTok. We are on YouTube, you guys. We're on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Click the link in my bio. So anyway, this is not meant for that. And at the end of the day, Russian manicures are illegal in the nail industry. Why? Well, first of all, number one, I said Russian manicures. Where on God's green earth are you located right now? In the United States of America. God bless America. Okay? We are not in Russia. You cannot do what the Russians do, okay, Putin? You can only do what's legal in America, and it's not within your scope of practice to be cutting or exfoliating or shaving or rubbing any skin off of people's bodies as a nail technician. Everybody clear? Okay. So these are used for making holes, and please do that very carefully. Everyone still with me? All right, let's move right to the next one. I got two Mises over here. I'm on the wrong one. Now, how do we clean these things? The same way we clean anything. How do we disinfect it? The same way we disinfect anything. We're going to wash it with soap and water. Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. This brush in particular did come from, guess where? Home Depot. Okay. But they do make, because I even bought some in case anybody wanted to buy one. These little, they're like this. Let me put this on the screen so you guys can see. Okay. So this one is got a handle on it, and they use this to like clean rust off of stuff because this will cut you. These are wire, yeah, it's wires. Okay. And how do you clean drill bits? A lot of people, and that's why I kept one of these dirty because I was like, I want to make sure. Oh, this is it. I kept this one a little dirty so I could show you guys. You see the acrylic that's stuck in the tip right there? So most of you would say, oh, let me just drop it in some acetone or alcohol. That's not really that good for your metal bits, okay? So what the best thing to do to get all this out, because you may not be able to get it out by just soap and water, and then, you throw it in acetone, and what if it's gel? It's not going to come off, is it, if it's gel? So the best way to do this is to take your bit and be very careful because you do not want to cut yourself. Brush it. Brush it out. Now, this is the one I'm using with the handle. You see it all, most of it came out. Or you can take these right here, and this is a new one, so I don't want to, you can get these, are like $4 on my website, right? Or you can turn on your e-file and just kind of brush it over like this, okay, to get those particles out. All right, so you see now we have a nice clean e-file with no acrylic bit with no acrylic stuck in it, and now we can soap and water wash it, and then also rinse it off, put it in some barbicide for 10 minutes, take it out, dry it, put it in your clean box. These can also go where?
In this autoclave.
Yes, if you have one, they can go in the autoclave, and that's going to give you even more of a level of disinfection. Okay. Everybody with me? So what does that mean? That means we need to have how many of, don't just buy one bit, you guys. If you're doing multiple clients a day and you're back to backing them, then that means that you need to buy multiple bits. Okay? If you're one of those people that likes to clean all their stuff at the end of the day or first thing in the morning or whatever you do, you're going to want to have multiple bits. Okay? Now, I'm going to demonstrate e-filing technique in a minute, but before we do that, I want to talk to you about how you practice e-filing. Okay? How are you going to practice this? The best way to practice e-filing is on yourself. I can tell you this, if a lot of these nail techs started doing Russian manicures on themselves, they would not do Russian manicures on other people because it hurts. All right. So how are you going to know how much pressure to put on that e-file? Try it on yourself. You'll see. Okay. Now that's the only way you are going to gain confidence, and practicing on this egg today is a way you can do it. I mean, I don't often recommend using your good, $2 a dozen eggs, okay, or your kiwis, because kiwis are expensive. I wish I would have bought 6 kiwis for y'all to mess up today. I love kiwis, and they're expensive. I made my husband try a kiwi. It was an exotic fruit in Africa. He was like, I've never had one. You know how much that kiwi cost me? Like $10 for one kiwi, just so he could taste it. He had never tasted one.
Did you like it?
He did. Now, techniques for practice. Well, first of all, sit up straight. Y'all got to stop, when you're at your table, you guys don't want to have a big humpback like me. I started to go make me an appointment because Shayla said I could get that hump rolled out of my back at the chiropractor, and then I saw a YouTube video that said chiropractors breaking people's necks. I was like, So a girl went into. I said, I'll never. Nope, not going. I'm gonna be a big back for the rest of my life. A girl who was a TikTok like big star died of a stroke from having her neck. They said that's one of the side effects of getting adjusted is strokes. Yeah, they snatching your neck. They don't tell you that. All right. Sit up straight. Hold your handpiece like a pencil. Okay? We're holding it just like we hold a pencil. Okay? The same way you hold your pencil. Now, you're gonna have your forearms on the table. You need to balance. You need to have something that it's like a fulcrum finger. You need to have something to balance on. Okay? Make sure that you're holding that client's finger very tightly. I can tell you that when I am e-filing on someone, I can 9 times out of 10 feel their pulse in their finger. Because I do not want that finger to slide. I do not want that finger to the e-file to slide. I want to make sure that I have control over what I'm doing. Okay? Now, that pinky finger is your fulcrum finger 9 times out of 10. Everybody's fulcrum finger is different. And when I say fulcrum finger, which finger are you using to balance on the client's finger, on their finger or hand? Okay? You cannot e-file up in the air. What do I mean by that? You cannot e-file like this. You have got to, even when I'm e-filing on myself, you've got to balance, whether it's your pinky or your ring finger. When I have nails on, it might be 3 fingers that I'm using because I got extra long nails. It just depends, okay? But you got to balance, all right? They're writing, and they writing. Get a massage to help work it out. Is that what I need? A massage? I got this hump leg. I was going to go let the doctor suck it out, but I don't think it's fat. Like it's a bone. I'm gonna go. How about I go to a spine doctor? How about that? Not a chiropractor. They was like chiropractors ain't doctors. And then they had the we are doctors. I was like, I don't know now. It's a whole lot less school, but I don't know. All right, moving right along. Okay. Oh, wrong computer. Now, you can practice with that machine off how you're gonna hold that how you're gonna hold your handpiece. But when you are doing surface work, everything is different. Okay, so if you're working on the surface of the nail, then obviously you want to hold that bit more flat, right? You're going to want to hold it more flat. And this is why having tapered bits and bits that are not necessarily, that have more of a, go from big to small might be better for you because you don't want to file off your apex. So if I show you what I mean by holding it flat, look at this video, my video up here. This is a tapered bit. So if you see how this would very easily give me a more of a, keep my apex in there without cutting it off. And even here, if I hold it at an angle, 45-degree angle, see how it's avoiding my apex? Okay? So when we're doing surface work, if we're trying it on a longer nail, you want to hold the bit a little bit flatter. But when you are doing cuticle work, then you're going to tip it up and do a little bit more of a 45-degree angle. Okay? Now, when we're shortening, what are we going to do? 90 degrees. You see that? 90 degrees. Okay? And holding it at 90 degrees is very important, or you're going to end up with a nail that's more like like a chisel. It'd be like a chisel. The tip would be like right, that moon shape. I've seen you guys now like that moon shape where you hold it like this. Oh, yeah. And then you get it more. It gets. I think that's weird, y'all. But y'all do whatever y'all want. I don't know what that looks kind of like. You look like it looks like duck feet nails to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what they usually do to make it.
But they're even like square and they look duck feet just because of that shape. I don't even know how y'all do it. It's weird to me. But what you do on the top of the nail, you may need to do on the bottom of the nail. And so what do I mean by that? You may have to go under here and clean out. And that's one of the things that I do to everyone. And if you're one of those clients that likes to see your little nasty nail growing out from under there, like, ooh, look at my nail, girl, look at it. Ew. Look at it over there just sucking up all that nastiness from washing dishes and you're washing your hair and you're cleaning your baby's butts and noses and all of that, and then you want to keep that? Ew. I file it out when they're not looking. I'm like, yeah, girl, turn it off. Real? Let's make it even across the board. Okay? That's just me personally. But you may need to get up under there sometimes because maybe acrylic fell down there, right? So there again, you're going to want to have different bits for different purposes. Okay. Now, next slide here. Start at a low RPM when you first start out. Okay, don't just start going on 15, 20 RPMs when you first pick up an e-file. All right, you're going to want to file in a forward position. And forward position means what? Which person is filing in forward? Is that my left-handed people or my right-handed people? My right-handed people will start in forward. I need to change that on my slide because my left-handies will be in reverse. Okay, now, y'all like this picture? I actually did this picture. I took this for you guys. This is my own photo. When you're filing, you see how I dug a ditch into that nail on accident in the second picture there? That's because I wasn't holding it at the proper angle, okay? So you want to make sure that that bit is flatter to the nail, okay? Make sure it is flat so that we do not cut into what we just laid nice and smooth, okay? Now, cuticle work must be done at a low speed, you guys. You've got to. And if you're going to be doing cuticle work with an e-file, what kind of bit are we going to use? Because I'm going to show y'all my favorite bit. This I can't survive without this bit. It's the only bit I actually use on the natural nail anymore. Which type of bit? Diamond bit. We're not using no carbide. We're not using any ceramic. Okay. Take this off. My favorite bits, I have two styles, okay? The first one is this one. The reason why I like this bit so much, and this is a diamond bit, is because you can get into those cuticle areas really well to get that cuticle off the nail plate. It's a fine bit. Oh, excuse me, this is a medium actually. It's a medium grit bit, okay? And you can very, very gently at a speed of 1 or 2 on your e-file. Kick off that cuticle during a dry manicure, right? This is what you would use instead of pushing them back with a cuticle pusher. You can just, and it's really great because it's flatter. And instead of pushing the cuticles back, you can hold it go around your cuticle like this and keep it this way, and it will push back, roll back that skin. Let me show you. So you can do a full dry manicure without ever pulling out another tool. Okay, let me show you because I probably need to do this on myself anyway. They're looking a little dry. Okay. It's been what? How many weeks have I had these on now? Since my birthday. So they've been on a minute. It's the longest I've had nails on in a while. Okay. So watch what I do. I'm starting, and notice that I'm holding it at an angle. I'm not digging it down straight in like this. Okay. Holding it at an angle. You start here. Right? Am I in reverse? I am. Oh, if you're in reverse, don't just flip it to forward. You got to turn the e-file off, put it on forward, and then turn it on. That's like putting your car in reverse while you're driving. That would be bad. Anybody ever done that?
No.
I've heard it. I've not done it, but I've been in the car when a doofus did it. And you will grind those gears, and you want to talk about a new transmission? Same thing will happen here. Okay, so turn it off, then put it in the right position, and then turn it on. Now I'm going to put it on like a 3 here. Let's see. Don't have to be high. Now you'll see now that I'm in the right position, I can hold this at this flat angle here, and it's going to push that cuticle up. Okay, we don't want to dig down underneath the skin. That's what they do with Russian manicures. They dig all up under. We don't want to do that. We're just taking this and that's pushing that skin back as well as removing that cuticle. So now I can gently remove that cuticle. Messing up my nails just for y'all. Obviously, I need a new set. Okay, you see that? So that is one of them. But my absolute favorite bit that I cannot live without when I am prepping, because prepping is important, is this one right here. This one is called a skiver bit, Skiver, Sciver, and you can get it on. It's still the Atwood Industries. Thank you, Atwood Industries. Okay, that's where I buy most of my like coveted bits that I can't live without. Okay, so let me show you why I love this one so much. It's even more precise. So I can get in there and remove all that cuticle without digging. We don't need to dig. Remove that cuticle off of that nail plate. Okay. Also, remember when we're removing dust, we're using what kind of brush, y'all? Nylon brush. What are the big fluffy brushes used for? Cleaning the table. Okay, because we can't disinfect those. All right. And y'all, when I'm e-filing, the reason I love these so much and I buy these like this when I'm e-filing, this is how I hold my stuff. I keep it in this little loop right here. It's just a little pro move for y'all. Okay, it's a little pro move. It's the Instagram people. The Instagram people. They trying to cop. It's them same people. 912. It's some same people. And Google has a 912 number, y'all. Okay, Savannah. They live in Savannah. All right. Hold this little thing right here on your hand like this. That way, when you're e-filing, you can move around, file it off, so you don't have to keep stopping and dusting. Make sense?
You don't use like the brush ones that you hold.
I like that. These can be disinfected. They can be, and you keep a bunch of clean ones in there. Grab one with a new client, and when you're filing, then you can just dust away stuff, just with it attached to your finger. Just that's. I tell people about that, and they're like, oh, game changer.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you have to stop, pick up, or maybe you gotta put it down. It just hook it to your finger right here. These two right here. Keep it on there. And then when you get ready clean, when you want to clean and see what you've done, dust it off. Okay? That's just the way I do it when I'm e-filing. Makes it a little easier. Okay? But those are my favorite bits right there for cuticle and prep work. Okay? Only got a few more slides here. Oh, there they are. So, you thought that was normal? I got some worse pictures coming up. So holding it at the right angle, because you can get rings of fire even with this little diamond bit. If you holding it digging down in there, you've got to hold it at the right angle. We're not trying to cause a ditch, okay? So also remember to choose the correct speed, because you will end up with rings of fire. And anybody who has experienced rings of fire, you probably, like she said, thought it was normal to feel that burn. And then you're looking at your nails when you take them off, like you can tell everywhere that you've had a fill in. You can see the gap. You see the red line? You can see, okay, they had a 3-week. Now they waited a while. That's a 4-week. That's a month. They waited a month in between each one. That's not normal. We don't want our clients we want them to be able to take their nails off and they look decent, even if they're growing out, okay? Now, maintenance, when we're doing a fill-in on clients, okay? We use our e-file we're going to probably have gel polish on our nails, right? You're going to use your e-file to remove the gel polish. And which kind of bit would you use?
Ceramic.
A ceramic one? What's another one you could use? A metal carbide. You could use a sanding band if you want to, but that's going to be a lot of work. Sanding bands. When I'm using sanding bands, I go through 3 to 4 each client. They are, and I have seen nail salons where they have the same dirty sanding band sitting on the bit, and to use it on the. I'm like, how old is that band? Jesus, I go through 3 or 4 with each client if I'm using a sanding band. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But you're going to want to smooth out the cuticle area where it's grown out with whatever type of bit you're using. Okay. Trying to avoid the natural nail. Because we'll use what on the natural nail when we get ready to prep for it? A diamond bit or even a buffer. Push that back. Use your bits to clean the cuticle area and keep it moving. Now, if you have lifting in the cuticle area, remember when you have lifting in the cuticle area when you're doing a fill-in, because it happens, you'll have a little bit of lifting. You don't want to use nippers to pluck. If you go in, let me just use my nail as an example. Lord, my poor little nails is why I can't have nails. Woo! Jeez. Okay. If I have lifting, right, and I go in and I start plucking like this, because this is what y'all do. What happens? Well, you're gonna be trying to remove just a little bit, and then when you push this under there, it's gonna make it worse. It's making it so you still got lifting and more lifting. So what is the best way? And again, this is a pro move, but you guys can do this with an e-file. If you have lifting on a client's nail, and it would be better for me to show you on my little handy dandy nail thing here. Nail thing. Okay. If you have a client that has lifting, let's just say her fill-in is right, it's right here. Now her nails have grown out to here. Make sure y'all can see that, okay? So this is all new growth back here. But she's got lifting a little bit right here. This is lifted up. Maybe a little bit right here is lifted. And you can tell it's lifted. Why? It'll be lighter, right? It won't look like it's kind of lit. You might even be able to put something under there. Do not take your cuticle nippers or anything else and pluck away. If you try to pluck that away, all it's going to do is push this even further. Okay? What you want to do very carefully is take an e-file bit, and we'll just say one that has an edge on it, something that has, and it can be a safety bit, because this may not look like a safety bit, y'all, but it is absolutely a safety bit. Archon mounts, hey y'all, I'm using one of your mounts right now. This one is a safety bit because the grooves go all the way to the top. Okay, but what you will do is you'll take this e-file bit and you're gonna do what we call ditching. Okay, ditching is you're gonna take this e-file, turn it on, and run it across that little area right there very carefully until it goes down to where the acrylic is lifted at the very corner of it, and then this right here will pluck off very easily. You can take your nipper then and just pluck it off. Make sense? Because if you don't want to have lifting, pushing, and then lay acrylic right on top of a lifted spot. You do not want that. Okay? Classes on YouTube today, Jennifer. We're banned on TikTok right now, so we're just waiting to get to 1,000 followers. Does that make sense? As far as how we fix a nail with our e-file with the lifting. Okay. Now, smooth that product down. Remember, when we're doing our e-file or when we're doing a fill-in, we're gonna have to sometimes move the apex. It might have grown out a bit. We may even have to cut that nail down, and now we've got to make the top of the nail or make the tip of the nail thinner because now it's thick, because when you cut it down, it's going to be thicker, right? So you're going to have to, you cannot do all these things without an e-file. It's nearly impossible to do a lot of these very, very fine detail work without an e-file. Can you get under a nail and smooth out from underneath a nail with a hand file? No, it's not even possible. Not even possible, okay? So an e-file will make your life a whole lot easier, okay? Now, this is what I meant by the two-color French, okay? With that saucer bit. See how she's going around? How she's going around that, she's about to anyway, go around in that French area to cut out the white, because she'll have to fill in the white and fill in the pink. I'm not doing that. That's too much work. Okay? Too much work. Now, here you go with your shortening of the nails. Okay? Holding it at a certain that 90-degree angle and removing it that way, and then also under shaping your C curves from underneath. Again, one of those things you cannot do with a hand file is underneath, working that C curve underneath. And it was disastrous to have to do it with a hand file when you're shortening nails. It takes forever. Shayla!
Hey.
I forgot you had your first day. First week. Grab you a chair.
I have a nail emergency.
What?
They didn't have a charger, and you're like 3 minutes away. Please. I have an hour.
Why don't you just take the whole thing? Leave yours. Shayla. And then you can tell us the tea.
Yes.
I want to know the tea. You've been working. You got dust on you. Wow, that's good. Okay. Now, finishing and buffing creams and oils. I told you guys about one, right? Well, they have what they call a e-file oil. It's cuticle oil, y'all.
Like a dry cuticle oil.
It's cuticle oil. To put on the nail to make it more smooth after filing. I don't recommend this, and why?
Because the oil,
It makes your product live.
Oil? Why would you put oil on an acrylic nail to make it nice and smooth that you're about to put gel polish on top of? That if you put gel polish on top of it, it's not going to stick. So finishing buffing oils are great for only natural nails if you're going to be buffing them. And then the finishing oils for acrylic and gel, unless you're going to put like regular top coat or clear top coat on top of it, I don't see the point. Just not gel, because gel and oil, you cannot mix the two. We learned that last week, okay? You cannot, okay? So, useless slide. Moving right along. Oh, we talked about the buffing creams again. Again, this is what they look like, rubbing it in and all that stuff. I think I'm going to delete these because they're just stupid. Nobody uses that stuff. All right? And then natural nail work. When you're working on the natural nail, again, you guys, sometimes you will have clients that you can use the e-file on the natural nail. Just make sure we're using what? Diamond bits, okay? And again, that's when your buffing creams and stuff will come into play because you can use them on natural nails, okay? Now, e-filing with pedicures, we've gone into a little bit of detail with this, but more or less, if you're an A&T, you're definitely going to be using an e-filer with pedicures. But if you're just just a regular nail tech using it, you can as well, just to make your life a little bit easier. But just be sure that your feet are dry, that you have different types of bits for that. And then when you're shortening those toenails and reducing those calluses, be very, very careful. Okay, you got to be at a high rate of speed. And sanding bands are not recommended on the bottom of the feet. And the reason for that is because think about how rough sanding bands are compared to like a diamond bit. Okay, they can cause micro traumas on the feet. That's going to cause the callus to grow back faster, if that makes sense. Okay, it's just not recommended. You can do it, but it's just not recommended. Okay, now again, keep multiple bits. You're going to want to make sure that you do not remove too much callus. We do need a little bit of callus on our feet, don't we? Just a little bit, because if you don't have callus on your feet and you're walking around, that's when you end up with those fissures. They split open because your feet are soft like a baby's bottom, and you need a little bit of callus, okay? Now, troubleshooting. How do we reduce dust? Okay? Well, first, we're going to have dust. You're going to want to be wearing a mask when you're using an e-file all day long, okay? You're going to end up with the crusty white nose. People are going to be asking you questions, you want all that. You can use a dust extracting device like a Valentino or any of those cheaper ones they have that you can buy. Now that I do say buy on Amazon. Those little cheap ones, they're good because they can don't have to buy reusable. They are reusable as far as the filters are concerned. This is what I mean. This is one right here. This is one of those cheap ones that was like $25 on Amazon. And this filter comes out, and you can actually, I think you can wash it, like rinse it with water. It's made out of, it's not made out of, it's made out of plastic or something. Nah, I ain't never washed it, but I mean, I just dump, tap, tap, tap. And then also, if you're using really, 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 really coarse bits, you're gonna have a lot more chunky bits versus fine dust or whatever. But you know, again, this is something that comes with the business. All right. What if you don't have enough shine? If you're trying to use your e-file to make the nail shiny or whatever, it's probably because the bit's too coarse, right? You're gonna want to bring up the fine or change your grit. Okay, and then finishing with those chamois bits again. This is something that I'm not trying to get shine from my e-file. I'm getting shine from my gel polish, from my buffing or whatever with my buffer. I'm not getting shine from my e-file, but some people do natural nails and they are using it for that. What about heat? How do we reduce heat? Slow that thing down if we're going too fast on the nail. Okay, when it comes to the actual fingernail, you might feel heat. All right. Now, also, you may have to increase the speed if we're talking about the on the feet and then lifting up away from the skin often. Okay. Don't go on when you're using an e-file. This is what I don't like to hear. Because y'all do that in here. Look, Alexis like, that's me. Yeah. Y'all do that in here on mannequin hands because there's no human attached to it. But please get out of the habit of doing that, because when you are on somebody's actual finger, oh, I got brand new glue. Y'all, look, I got brand new glue, y'all. That one's probably old. Here. That one's probably old. If it's pink, it's old. We got purple ones now. Purple KDS. So lift away from the nail frequently. So I want to hear real, real, real. Okay, not real, 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 real. I'm be like, oh my god, that poor client. Okay, and apply less pressure for the heat. Okay. Now, what is grabbing? When something is grabbing, that means that it's like catching. Like it's not really. It's like it's and it'll whip around, right? Usually that happens because maybe you're going too slow. All right. It could also be that the bit is too close to the skin, or the angle of the bit, or the bit is too large. So again, you guys got to practice with these things. Practice with what you have. Okay. Micro shattering. Does anybody ever experienced that? This happens with gel a lot. Okay. But this is tiny cracks in the nail enhancements that can happen as they age and with wear and tear, and they become more brittle. Okay, if you ever wore your acrylics so long that they start to get crumbling, like when they around the corners and sidewalls and get crumbling, and it's like that's micro shattering. Okay, and it can also be caused by aggressive filing. Okay, or and that's not with not just an e-file, but also with a hand file. So again, bent bits, using the incorrect bits. Okay, so you guys have to practice with these bits and know which bits to use, or you're going to have these problems. There's another picture of rings of fire. I can't believe people think this is normal. Okay, it's not. All right, we already talked about rings of fire. Now, our Russian manicures. Y'all, my guy Doug wrote a whole article on this, the dangers of Russian manicures. You guys can check that out. Again, that's what she's doing there at the top is a Russian manicure, and she is digging. You ain't even supposed to hold a bit like that. Okay. Y'all know why you're not supposed to do Russian manicures. You all know that. Okay. Now, safety tips. These are my last two slides here. Keep that handpiece parallel. Make sure you're turning your client's hand, right? Instead of doing all this, use your fingers to turn your client's hands and get more precise of an angle there. Have your client's hand angled downward instead of in an up. They want to see everything. That's why they do that. You're like, calm down. Put your hand down. All right. And then avoid applying too much pressure and lift that bit frequently so you won't have too much heat. All right, we've discussed this. Another thing, you guys, if you've ever had your hair caught up in an e-file, it's not pleasant. Okay, so make sure your hair is pulled back when you're not. It's not in your path of your e-file. And then eye protection is very, very, very highly recommended. I know some of us don't wear it like we should, but you definitely are going to wear one when you get a. This is a real true story. When you get a Swarovski to shoot up your nose and land right in the back of your tongue, and you nearly choke on it. That happened to me at least twice. Huh? Oh yeah. Oh, in your get it that you want to wear eye protection and mask, okay? Because these stuff start flying everywhere. If you've ever gotten a piece of someone's nail in your mouth, it's not you be try not to do it in front of the client, but yeah, it's a little nasty. It's nasty, and then also getting in your eye. One of the things that one of the biggest injuries nail techs get is injuries to the eye and glue in the eye and stuff like that. Okay, and please, first and foremost, get more education. You guys are all e-file certified if you finish the online course, because I have an e-file certification course in our training. Okay, so that's not where it shouldn't just stop there. You should continue to get your education when it comes to e-filing, because things change. We get new technology all the time. At the end of the day, that is my e-file, and we have a few more left before I go and buy some more, because we're almost out. And that is the theory. Yay, we're done. Now let's get to the egg. So we made sure this morning that everybody gets, and I have mine too that we'll pass out to, and then we also will have the Old Faithfuls, okay? And I'm gonna just be real with y'all. Old Faithful is bad mama jamma, okay? My favorite. So we have a container of eggs here, and everybody should have in front of them. See, that's how they break. Bit on it. So we've got the eggs. I need one more. Oh, this does not work. Okay, well I'll give you mine in a minute, and then here's this one. This one can go. It has to be plugged in though. So whoever has a plug. Who's got a plug? That's my favorite e-file, y'all. So just so y'all know, I'm gonna put on my little glasses so they can see. Hey, you did master cleansing machine. I'm working on opening my school college home. Thank you, Pam. All right. I bought white eggs. I was thinking the brown ones might be good because they got the brown, but I didn't know if they're brown just on the outside and white on the inside. Because I was like, I was just like, I don't know. But I thought they were brown. Like if you went too far down, yeah, but I got mine. The sharps, they're up there. Okay. Everybody's going to get an egg. Okay. You're scared? You think you're going to? So the goal today, this is what we're going to do. Now she's got a container of Sharpies, and I don't want y'all to Sharpie yet because you won't pay attention to what I'm doing if y'all Sharpie now. Okay, now I got a black one up here. You guys can do whatever color you want. So let me zoom in. Boop, boop. So you guys can now see on my Instagram. Look, they can see. They can see. Okay.
Move it up some, please.
Huh?
Can you move your hand up some, please?
Oh, y'all can't see me up there? Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just turned it off because it's in my ear and I can't concentrate. So, what you're going to do is we're going to try to color, and I don't recommend doing black because black's going to get everywhere. Okay? You're going to get a Sharpie, and you're going to Sharpie as much of this as you can, and I usually only do a little patch here for when you guys, and you guys can do hold your egg a certain way and then Sharpie as much as you can. This is what I'm gonna do because I've done this different ways, several different times, and I find that it's better if you do like a area, not the whole egg, y'all. Don't do the whole egg. Like do like one side, color the whole side, okay? Because the goal is for you guys to file on this as much as possible, okay? So this is what I want you guys to imagine, okay? This is where it'll make sense. Why are we using the egg? What does the egg represent?
Natural nail.
The natural nail plate, okay? We're not filing and shaping an acrylic nail on this egg. What you are learning how to do is prep today. Okay, this is prep. So I'm going to carefully put my egg down.
Don't you need a towel?
Okay, I do, but it'll be all right. Thank you. Maybe I should have a towel. And the reason I want y'all to have a towel mostly is to catch your dust, first of all, and for two, so that your egg don't roll on the floor. That's usually how it happens. The egg rolls on the floor. Where's my little bit that I had? Here we go. I'm gonna use one of these. We have tons of mandrels. I think inside of that little, there's a e-file thing up there. It's behind most. Okay. All right. So this black is representing our gel polish. Okay. So you guys imagine this. I tell you all the time that gel polish on the toes is not a good idea. And it's not because of the gel polish, it's because of the removal. And you will see today why it's not good to put gel on the toes and remove it with an e-file. Okay? Because let me ask you this. Let's do a little math real quick. It's 52 weeks in a year. Or 12 months in a year, we'll just say you get a pedicure once a month, which is every 3 weeks. How many times are you having your gel polish removed in just those 12 months? 12 times, right? Now, if you're one of those bougie people, like my friend Danielle, who gets her pedicure once a month, but she needs a polish change every other week, every 2 weeks. So now we turned into 24 times of removing the gel. No. You know how I know? Because once a year she comes to me and says, my toenail is broke, and it just and the reason it's broke and thin is because she's been going there, and now she wants me to put a gel toenail polish on. And I do. But every year this happens. She ends up in my chair needing some gel on her toes because the toenail is now broken. She don't want an acrylic toe on there. She knows better than that. Okay. So 24 times. Remove this gel off of the toe and see if you don't break this egg. Now, I've had a few people claim that they did it 36 times, and they ain't no way. Okay, that what they did was they just skirted over it and called it 36 times. They didn't actually remove everything. There's no way.
Boiled and I only got to like 12.
Right.
Not boiled.
Right. So, what you're gonna do, and I don't want you to completely remove every bit of it. I want you to do what we would do with gel polish, which is just remove the color. Okay? So, and not all of it, because in actuality, what you should be doing is exactly what I'm doing, removing a little bit of the color and then soaking the rest. But you're going to find that even doing that 12 times, at some point, you're going to be able to see right through this egg if it doesn't crack, okay? So we've got to hold a fulcrum finger here, and I'm using this at a very low speed. Look, I'm at 5, okay? You could even go lower, but I'm at 5, and I'm using a fine sanding band, and I'm just going to remove very carefully as much of this color as possible. Okay, now the first pass you do, because you will notice that this egg has little rough spots. Okay, the first pass is going to be a little bit bumpy. Okay, so Let's say we get, because I don't want you to remove it to white. If you remove it to white, you're absolutely going to crack this egg after about four times, okay? I want you to remove it about right there, okay? And again, I'm even treating this egg like a human. Very gently, okay? So that's pass number 1. And that's what your gel polish should look like on a toe when you get ready. It should be patchy like that, and then what? Acetone on a cotton ball, soak that toenail for a few minutes. It'll come right off, all right? Now, but that's not what they do. She said, hell no. Hell no. That's not what they do. What they do is they say, oh, you got... And I challenge you, maybe we'll do this. Do it the right way in one area, and then on the other area, remove it all. Do it on the other side, remove it all. And do it back and see which one breaks quicker. Guarantee you, if you remove every bit of this, because I can keep going. I can get it all. As a matter of fact, I can do this and then go in with a buffer. Buff the rest of it, because they're gonna do that too. They'll take a where's my because actually you could go in and remove as much as possible. Then take you a buffer and just kind of get the rest of it off. Because that's what you're gonna do. And then do it again. And do it again. And do it again. And the goal is to not remove any of this client shell. We want to keep that shell, but if you keep doing this and think about those people that get a pedicure more than they get the whole thing every week. In the summertime, some folks are going and getting polish changes weekly, But go back over it again. Go right back over it, okay? They don't. But you know what? This is regular polish on my toes. I just make sure that the day that I do it, I have a whole day to wear flip-flops, okay? And then we're going to go in and we're going to do it again. Now, me and Tanika are going to walk around while you do this and see if you're doing it right, because the person who does the most removals of this and doesn't break their egg, I might have a little something for them.
You just want it in one spot.
Try it in one spot. Yeah, one spot, and do your removals and keep track of how many times. Who thinks they can do it? Like,
give us a number to see if you can make it.
okay, 24. Cause y'all little liars in y'all other classes said y'all done did 30 something. It done been some fable telling ass folks up in here talking about they did. You didn't do this. You must have been gone that day, because we always do it. You want to do that? We got 12 eggs. I just need them. I just hope I don't want to have to buy any more for tomorrow's class. Okay. You gotta be careful. I'm gonna get out. So I've got my e-file here. Okay. Whoever I give this to, just make sure this one gets back to me, because it does say student on the handle, and I didn't need it. Nobody needs it. Everybody. Oh, you got your own e-file. Okay. Now the bits, the mandrels, should be in that little container. If not, I've got extra mandrels for days.
No, these aren't mandrels in here. These are all diamond bits.
Who been taking my mandrels, y'all? Here's one. Oh, here you go. Here you go a bunch. Here, I got enough for everybody right here. Now, some of these. Here's 3. Some of these I couldn't get off. I was like, why don't... Here's another one. Here's 4. And then I got some more. Here's 5. And then our sanding bands. We want fine sanding bands, y'all. So I'm going to give y'all... Ain't no telling. They might be mixed, but in that one. Oh no, the other one. And here's two more. I think that's for everybody. Everybody got one now. So if you use the markers that have the thicker, because there's some that are like pen-like, they take forever to write. Use the Sharpies, not the ones that have the fine tip. Those take too long to mark. Okay. And then everybody should have a mandrel and some sand. And you may need 4 or 5 sanding bands, y'all. Okay. Turn on your lamps if you have one, ladies. Save your eyeballs. Save your ice. If the plugs, the switchy thing, you gotta. It's right there on the side.
There it goes.
Boom. Got it. If we need some bulbs, because I know we moved some bulbs around last week. All right. And that is the end of this